也开始录啦。
他又没有发视频，他自己的视频他不发啊。还是我声音啊。
Putting in progress.
啊，行。消死吃瓜群众也。
Hello guys, good morning. Good afternoon to you all. Did you guys get the slide, the PowerPoint slide for this today? One. Yeah, me too. One, two, three. All fast. All right, so please open your PowerPoint. The file I sent to you, week 2, Java. So today we'll be looking at numerical computation and expression in Java. All right. And this is actually going to be this is a long slide, but today our focus is to look at character strings. Today, our focus is to understand what character strings are. So by the end of the class, hopefully everyone in class can understand what character strings are. Okay, so let's proceed. So the parts of a Java program, we need to look at what are the different parts of a Java program. Okay, the header section, which is the Java class, the parentheses to open the Java class, the body of the Java class, and usually the body of the Java class will have a main method. Okay, so we will look at the different parts of a Java program and look at some test examples of a Java program. Now, a Java source code file contains one or more Java classes. Okay, in a Java source code file, it can contain one or more Java classes. So if more than one class is in a source code file, only one class may be public. Okay, so if you have more than one class in a Java file, only one of them is allowed to be a public class. Now, the public class, usually when you write a Java code, you have public class something, programmer defined name, whatever name you choose to name your class. So remember, we talked about it in the last class, right? So whatever name you use here, when you save your file, it has to be the same name with the file name, or else the program will not run, right? Public class and the file name of the source code file must match. Okay, example, public class simple, okay? And the file name must be simple.java, or else your program will not run, okay? So to compile a simple.java, okay, we have a compiler using the IDE. I hope all of you have installed this software, NetBeans IDE, Apache, NetBeans IDE 12.4. This is what we will be using for our programming for this course. Okay, and then by next week, we will start doing our practical labs to do some examples and some exercise, hands-on exercise. All of you should make sure you install this software. Okay, so let's proceed with the class. Okay, so in a Java program, you have the public class simple. Remember, public class simple. Now, this is the class header for the class simple. The name of this class is simple, and simple is a public class. Okay, it's not private. Now, let me give you the difference between public and private. Once you have a class that is public, for example, I have a public class car. Public class car. Car is my public class example. And what are the attributes of a car? A car can have 4 tires. A car can have color. A car can have make. What brand of the car? Is it Nissan? Is it Audi? Is it Mercedes? Is it the Great Wall? Whatever model. Okay, many. Okay, this is name. Class name. This is attributes. Attributes means the characteristics or the qualities. Okay, and this is behavior. What can the object or the class do? A method. You can call it behavior or method. Okay, so a car can go forward. You can drive a car forward. You can drive a car backward. You can turn right. You can also turn left with a car. Okay, you can go slow. You can go fast. So these are things a car can do, right? And this is a public class. Now, if we have another class called private class Audi. Audi is the name of a car, okay? It's the brand of a car. Now, this Audi can take object or attribute or behavior from public class because this class is public. So it can have the same qualities, some of the same qualities with this, right? But maybe this can be a little bit different. Okay, now, private class Audi can have 4 tires, make, model, but the make now will be different because it is Audi here. 4 tires, color, model, okay. Speed, maybe the speed now can be, maybe Audi is the fastest car out there, who knows, or Ferrari, okay? So I can say 450 km per hour, okay? Is something Audi have, but car don't have. Now, Audi is a private class. If I have another private class, Ferrari, F1. F1 can take from here also, but cannot take from here, impossible. Cannot take any qualities or attributes from here because this is private class. This is public class. So both of them can take objects or take anything from public class, okay? So if I have in one Java file, many classes, only one may be public, the rest can be private or whatever, okay? So we will look at, when we start our coding, a lot of more examples. All right, so now I just want you to understand the body of a Java code. So public class, simple. Now it starts with an open curly braces and a closed public curly braces. So this from here to here is the body of the class, whatever you have inside this place, because this is the beginning of the class and this is the end of the class. So anything you have in here is a member of this class, okay? Usually, like I said, every class will have one main method. You see, public static void main, and this is a parameter, which means a string, okay? So this part is the body of the main method, okay? This part is the body of the class. So maybe you can have many methods inside one class, it's okay, all right? All the actions to be completed during the main method, you see all the actions, all the behavior, all the things this class can do, all the actions or behavior or attribute or method will be in here, right? Public static void main, this is the method header. This is the class header. Okay, header, this is header. That is the head of the class. This is the head of the class. This is the head of the method. All right. So let us look at some examples. Please don't write on the screen. Okay. Public static void. Please don't write on the screen. Why are these students so? Public class simple. Okay. Public static void main. System.out.print. Okay, now this is another statement. This is a statement in Java. Okay, and this statement, it shows that print this string of words. Programming is great fun. Programming is great fun. I want to print this. So this is a Java statement. Okay, this is a Java statement. It is inside the main method. So what do I want to do? What is the behavior? Remember, I told you about the car, right? Car can turn right, car can turn left. What can the car do? So those are the things the car can do. Now, same with this class and this main method. What do you want your method to do? I want my method to print programming is great fun. Okay, system.out.print. This is a Java statement that is executed when you run the program. So when you run this program, you click run or compile, it will just print this. Programming is great fun, which means you are successful. Okay. So there is a difference between comment and statement. I want you to know the difference between comment and statement. Okay. Comment is a line that is ignored by the compiler. The line is ignored by the compiler. And usually if you want to write a comment, you write a comment with double slash. Whatever you write here, the Java will ignore it, because this means please ignore my statement after this. Okay, double slash, whatever you write, Java will ignore, Java will skip this line. Okay, that is a comment. So you can write your comment in any language, in English, in Chinese, whatever it does. Java don't care. All right. But for Java statements, a Java statement, Java will execute your statement. And Java statement usually will end with a semicolon. Whatever you write, system.out.print, programming is great fun, semicolon. Let me show you an example. You see, this is a Java statement. Java will execute or will run this program. See, semicolon, this marks the end. In English, when you write something, full stop, right? Marks the end of a sentence in English. But in Java, semicolon marks the end of a statement in Java. Okay, you see here, slash, double slash. This is a simple Java program. You see, Java will skip this because it's just a comment. Usually you use this for your to understand your own script, right? You write some script and then you put the comment. Okay, this part is for this comment. This part is for this, to make people read your code easily, right? So you give some comment for each part of your programming. So usually you put this comment, Java will skip it. You see, this is English language. This is not Java. This is not Java language, right? But this is not English language. This is Java language. See? This is the difference between statement and comment. This is a comment. This is a statement. Do you understand the difference between the two? Tindong lama. Okay, good. Let's go on. So the comment in the example is in a single line, okay? It is usually ignored. Ignore, when you ignore something, you don't pay attention to it. You just leave it alone. You skip, you jump it. Okay, the class header tells the compiler the things about the class, such as this class is a public class. See, this class is a Java class, and it's a class, and the name of the class is called simple. So these are the details inside the class header. This class is public, and this is a Java class, not a Java method. And the name of the class is simple, right? And then curly braces, when associated with the class header, they define the scope of the class. They define the body of the class. Where does the class start? It starts from here, it ends from here. Now, other part is the main method. This line must be exactly as shown in the example, okay? Your main method will be run by the Java first. As soon as you run your code, the Java will go to your class and go to your method. Okay, what does this programmer want to do? Okay, this programmer wants to print Java is great fun. You see, the behavior of the code is inside the main method, right? So what do you want? The question, or what do you want to do? I want to print blah, blah, blah. The Java compiler will go there and execute the program there. So in every Java application, you must have a main method. If you don't have a main method, then the Java compiler would not know what to compile or what to do. What do you want? No response, no behavior, nothing, right? Java statements. See, I've explained Java comment, and this is Java statement. When the program runs the statement within the main method, the method will be executed. For Java comments, Java will ignore, skip, jump. For Java statements, it will execute, it will run, it will execute. Execute means to do something. It will execute the statement, okay? Java will not skip a statement. Java will execute a statement. Now, see, this is an example of a statement I told you, system.out.println. So what do I want to print? I want to print this string. I want to print on the screen, programming is great fun. So system.output device, which is the monitor, then print in a line, programming is great fun. Then end of statement. End of statement is semicolon. This is because it is only a Java statement in a program. The rest of the code is either a comment or a Java framework code. Okay, this is the statement. This is what a statement, a Java statement look like. Now, if I want to make this a comment, I just put here. If I just put double slash like this, Java will skip this entire line, right? And the statement is no longer a statement, it becomes a comment, okay? Double slash. Same thing, if I want to write a long line of text, but I don't want Java to execute, I just put double slash in front of the code or the text. Anything I write here, Java will ignore, skip. Comments are ignored by the Java compiler, so they do not need semicolon, okay? There's no rule to whatever you want to write inside a comment. You can write it in any language. You can write anything you want in a comment. It will be ignored, but statement will be executed, okay? Now, there are other code elements that do not need semicolon. The class header class method and curly braces. You don't need to put semicolon. Yes, I told you in every statement, you need to put semicolon if it's not a comment, right? But class header, method header, and curly braces, you don't need to put semicolon. I'll give you an example. Public class simple. See, this is a class header. You don't need to put semicolon here. It is not a statement. This is a class header, okay? Public static void main also. It's a method header. You don't need to put semicolon after you write a method header. No need. Okay. Also, in your curly braces, you write your curly braces and then you put this. No need. This is wrong. If you do this, syntax error. Remember, I told you what syntax error is? Syntax error is like you do not follow the rule. Okay, so you have to follow the rule in programming. Okay, but every other statement you must have semicolon. Okay, you follow the rule. So Java is a case sensitive language. You know what is case sensitive? Do you know what it says case sensitive? For example, if you go to your QQ or your email or your whatever, and you type your email address, password, your password is case sensitive. For example, if my password is Hector, you see, I have capital H, capital T, capital R. This is my password, and I want to write my password again in the future, and I write Hector. Same word, but it will say password incorrect. Why? Because password is case sensitive. These two passwords are not the same. Okay, because there are capital letters in this and this no capital letter. So this is what it means by case sensitive. So when you're writing your Java code, remember that Java is case sensitive. If you declare something, declare a variable, and it is in capital, make sure it is also, every time you use it, it is in capital, or else it will tell you, oh, I don't know this word, or I don't know this variable. Okay, case sensitive. All Java program must be stored within a file. Comments, I already told you this, comments are ignored by the compiler, whereas statements are executed by the compiler. A .java file may contain many classes, but may only have one public class. I already explained this. Java applications must have a main method, okay? Because it is in the main method you have a behavior. For example, if this is my phone, but my phone cannot do anything, okay? It does not have a main method. So if I open this phone, I cannot use it to do anything, nothing. It's just an object, okay? But if there are functions inside the phone, then I can use it to do something. Same with the Java code. If you do not have a method or a main method that tells the code or that tells the compiler to do something, then nothing will happen, okay? So it's important to have a main method and a task or a job inside your main method. For every left braces, okay, so for every left curly braces, there must be a right close curly braces, okay? So anytime you have maybe double curly braces, you also must have double close. If you have 3, you must have 3 also. If you have 4, same, you must have 4. So you cannot have 4 and then here 3. It will tell you syntax error. Some problem is here. Your code is incomplete. Okay, so you must be careful. If you have 1 open, 1 must be closed. I give you an example. You see, 1 open, 1 close, 1 open, 1 close. Okay, 2 open, 2 close. Complete Java code. If one is missing, the Java will tell you, oh, you have a syntax error. So there are special characters in Java. I have already explained double slash to you. Anytime you put double slash, anything you write inside the double slash will become a comment. Marks the beginning of a single line of a comment. And that comment will be ignored by the Java code. Open bracket and close bracket or parenthesis. It is used as a mark of a parameter list. Okay, what is a parameter list? It is the content you want to have inside your method. Okay, I'll give you an example. You see, public static void main. This is a parameter list. System.out.print. I want to print this parameter. Print this string. This is a string. This is an example of a string. Anything you put inside the quote is a string in Java. Okay, even if it is a sentence or a number or even a simple X or Y or XY, whatever you put inside this double quote like this is a string. Okay. Curly braces I already explained. This is the quotation mark I just explained now. Okay, it encloses a string of characters. So anything you put inside here is a string. Semicolon, I will also explain this. It marks the end of a complete Java statement. In English, you write a sentence, at the end you put full stop. In Java, you write a statement, at the end you put semicolon. Okay, do you understand so far? Tintong lama? Great. So we proceed. Let's go on. So I will show you some examples as we proceed with the class, while we proceed with the class. But we will do all of this in the lab, okay? But let's go on with the class first. So this is an example of a Java statement. So let us run this statement and see what it looks like. System.out.print. I want to print this, okay? Programming is great fun. See, this is a Java statement that ends with a semicolon. If I run this program, I want to print this string of words, okay? You see, your building is successful. This is the output. Programming is great fun. Very simple. I just want to print programming is great fun. This is my output, you see? So this is how you print string in Java. So let's go on. Now, if you notice, there is system system.out.println, programming is great fun. This is a line used, this line uses the system class, okay? From the standard Java library, the system class contains method and object that perform system level tasks. The out object is a member of the system class that contains method like print and println. Now, even though we print string easily, we just put it in quote, we can print anything we write, okay? There are rules you must follow, all right? Now, system, obviously, is your system. Out, remember I told you, when you see IO or in out in Java, it means input output, IO, input output, okay? So you will be seeing a lot of some of these in Java as well. So the default input device for Java is your keyboard. Your keyboard. The default output device is your monitor, your display. Okay. So system.out, system.output. So I want to display on my output device, that is my monitor, print on my display device, print anything I put inside the quote, print this string. This is a string. Remember, I told you anything you put in a quote becomes a, string. So print this string. And that is why we have our printed string. Programming is great fun. Okay, so there's a difference between print there's a difference between print and println. You see, this one just have print and this one have println. Okay, for example, when you open your Microsoft Word, you always have this thing, cursor, print blinking, right? It's just blinking. So when you type, you can type whatever you type will be inside this cursor, in front of this cursor. So for example, okay, let me give you a clean example. Can you see this blinking point here? This is a cursor, okay? So if I want to write anything, it will write, I will write it right beside that cursor. See, anything I write will be there beside the blinking cursor, right? So this is a cursor. Now, when I say cursor, this is how it is. Is it? Cursor. You see, it's blinking there. Now, in Java, you use print or println to tell your cursor where it will be after printing. Okay, how do I mean? System.out.println, programming is great fun. So this means new line, new line. So print programming is great fun, then take the cursor to a new line. Okay, but how do I mean? Print programming is great fun. After you print, take the cursor to a new line. So if I want to print something new again, something else, I'll print it here. Hello, hi, print line. If it is print line, go to a new line. So if I want to print something, hello world, my name is whatever, print line. If I use print line, it means new line. Go to new line. But for print, print is not new line. It means just beside. System.out.print, I just print. After you print, leave the cursor at the end of the text. So if I want to print something else, like hello, hi, it will print right beside it. put the cursor at the end. If I want to say my name is whatever, you see, it will put the cursor, it will print it right beside it. This is the difference between print and print line. Okay, so let me show you on the software scan. See, this is two 3-line statements. System.out.print, these lines will be system.out.print printed on system.out.print, the same line. So let's see what it looks like. Now you see, I have 4 statements. System.out.print, system.out.print. Okay. If you see here, I have 3 print and 1 print line, which means I want you to print 1, 2, 3 in same line, and this one in a new line. You see, this means new line. Even though it's new line, it can only go to new line after you print your message. So let's run. After you print the same line, go to a new line and print hello. But after you print hello, if I want to print anything else, it will still be beside the So can you see? These lines will be, see, it did not even give space because the cursor told it to print exactly there. Printed on the same, no space, the same line. Now you go to the next one, print hello. You see, new line is here. So after you print the same line, which is here, now I want you to print hello. So hello is printed here, but it is not print line. This is why it automatically put this. This will automatically be put there. Build successful. So do you understand the difference between print and print line? Do you understand the difference? No. Okay. What do you not understand? I will explain again. Let's go back to the slide. So the statement, the print statement works very similar to print line statement. However, print statement does not put a new line character at the end of the output. At the end of your output, print statement does not add new line. Print statement will not add new line. This means new line, LN. The print statement will not add a new line at the end of the output. So at the end of your output, new line. This is what print line statement does. But print statement at the end of your output, it doesn't matter, just stay there. So if I want to output something new, output right after it. If I want to print something new, print right beside. Okay, this is print line. Now I want to print hello, print hello. I want to print hi, print hi. I want to print how are you, print how are you, side by side by side. This is what print will do. But print line, I want to print hello, hello, new line. I want to print how are you, new line. I want to print, are you okay, new line. Okay, now let us do the example. Let's do the example in the software so you can understand better. So you see, this is, now I want to put print line in every code. You will see the difference in the output. System.out.print new line. Everything will be printed on a different line. See, these lines will be printed on the same line, but even though this is my string text, you see, it is all printed on a different line. Now, if I remove, okay, I need this. If I remove this, I remove this, I remove this, just print. Everything will be printed on one line. See, everything in one line. Do you understand now? Tintong lama? All right, so we'll take a break, 5 minutes break. We'll come back and we'll continue with the rest of the class. See you all in 5 minutes. Bye-bye. Ni hao. Can we continue with the class? Can we continue? Hello? Can we continue? All right. So this was where we were. Okay. And if you notice, in your print line statements, in your print statement, if you do not put any space in the text string, okay, when you print, there will not be space also in your printed words. You see, there's no space here at the beginning or at the end, or at the beginning or at the end, no space. This is why you see here also no space, no space. This is what print will do. Okay, so if you want space, you must put the space by yourself. Okay, now let us look at the other part. Okay, something called the escape sequence. Escape sequence can be used in your print statement or in your print line statement. Usually it is being used in the print statement, or you can use it anywhere. But escape sequence, what escape sequence does is to help you format your text easily, okay? So these are examples of escape sequences: new line, new tab, backspace, R, backslash, double slash, okay? So what does this escape sequences do? N is for new line also, but escape sequences, you use it inside your string text. I explain again. System.out.print, that is a form of statement, okay? It has nothing to do with your string text. But escape sequences, you put it inside your string text inside the quote, okay? Backslash N, backslash T. This is for tab. For example, you write something and you want to put tab, you can start, say you give a lot of space and you start typing here, backspace, R, double slash, okay? If you want to write things like, if you want to write this inside your string, okay, you cannot simply write it once. You have to write it. Before you write it, you must put this slash before you can write it. For example, let me show you an example. Okay, I said hello to you. You see, I want to write everything exactly like this, okay? But if I write it exactly like this in Java, this will confuse Java compiler. It will think this is open and this is closed. So what is this? Java compiler will be confused. You will have error, okay? But if you want to type this, you must put an escape sequence, slash, then you put it like this, slash, then quote. Then it tells the Java, please ignore this quote. It is not the close quote, just print it. Okay, same with the close quote, backslash, okay? You need a backslash and then you put your quote. That way it can print it exactly like this. Then this normal. So Java will say, okay, this is close, this is open. Okay. Mr. Zhu Yao he was sending me a message. He was asking me, teacher, does backslash N conflict with print line? No, it does not conflict. Okay. It is only used for formatting. You put it, you don't put it, you just have more space, okay? So let me show you an example in the software. So I copy this. And I paste it here. Let's see what Java will say. Shama? See? Syntax error. Java does not understand what you did here. You see, it already take this as open quote, close quote. You see, it is already in orange color. So what is this? Java cannot understand. Okay, another open quote, close quote. What is this? So Java does not understand what this is. So it tells you error, okay? But if you want to have this, you must put this here and also this here. Everything becomes perfect. Now, once you run your program, it can print it exactly how you want. See, I said hello to you. So if I put backslash n, like Mr. Zuhayi was asking me, it does not matter. Whatever I put here, it does not matter. It just means more space. Backslash n, no conflict. And then hi. It's just for formatting. Okay, backslash n, how are you? Backslash n, I'm okay. All it does is for formatting. It just arrange your things in new line. Okay, you see, I said hello to you. So how many backslash n we have? 3. So you see, there are 3 spaces here. 1, 2, 3. 3 line space. Then hi. Then another backslash n, new line. How are you? New line. I'm okay. New line. Finish. It's just for formatting. Tintong lama. Zuhayi, do you understand? Zuyao, Zouyao he. Do you understand? Yes. So it's just for formatting. So don't worry if you don't understand completely. When we start to do the exercise, you can do many practice on your own. Okay. Now I want to tell you a secret to programming. Okay. Even though all of you are in the same class, all of you have one teacher, but your skill will not be the same. Your skill, your programming skill, how good you are, depend on how much you practice. Okay. So my advice to you is to practice and practice and practice. Practice what you learn in class, go online, get some exercise or some example and do some practice by yourself, okay? Practice, practice, practice. You see, for me, I am a teacher, I'm not a programmer. Everything I teach you is from my knowledge, from my degree days, when I used to do degree, okay? 2007, I was doing my bachelor in 2007. I learned all these things. So I just have basic programming knowledge. So I can teach you, right? But for you, if you want to be a programmer, you have to practice, 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 practice. Then you can be even much more better than me and better than your friends. And it all depends on you, how much you practice, okay? So it is very important as a programmer to do a lot of practice. You have a lot of problem, you try to fix it. Practice, practice, practice. Tintong lama? Do you understand? So don't depend on the class only, okay? You must do practice. Programming, you have to practice. So let's go ahead with the class. System.out.println, you see, roses are red, new line, tab means space, violets are blue, new line, plus sugar is sweet, new line, new tab. Okay, so what happens here is roses are red, it prints roses are red, new line, come here, tab, come here, violets are blue, plus sugar is sweet, violets are blue, new line, come here, sugar is sweet, print sugar is sweet, new line, come here, this is new line, new tab, come here, but I have commitment issues, so print, but I have, okay, so you print commitment issues, close the print, close the quote, so new line, come here, tab, come here, plus, so I'd rather just be friends, new line, this is new line, this is tab, come here, at this point in our class relationship. So the output will print like this. So let us look at it. See, roses are red, new line, tab means to move from one place, make space. This is tab, okay? This is T, violets are blue. Okay, new line, come here, sugar is sweet. So basically you use escape sequence to format string. Tintong lama? Okay, oh. Do you understand? Okay, oh. All right, so we'll proceed. So if I ask you to write this in Java code, system.out.print, and write it exactly like this, your output should come out like this. Can you do it? Will you know how to do it? Okay, so these are the kind of examples exercises I might give you in a lab session or in class session or in your homework or your exam. I can ask you to write a code that output this value in your mid-semester exam or in your final exam. So you need to be able to write system.out.print, open bracket, and you start to write your string in a way that can output this. So you need to know how to, you need to understand. You don't need to memorize. If you understand, you can write it easily. Okay? All you need to do is to understand. If you understand the structure and you have done so many practice, it will be so easy for you. But if you don't understand and you don't practice, you'll see this and you'll be like, oh my God, teacher, this is so difficult. I cannot answer this. Okay? So you have to practice. So these are examples of escape sequences. System.out.print. Whether you use print or println, it just means formatting. Okay, I want it in, you see, for example, system.out.print. These are our top sellers. New line. These are our top sellers. New line, before you put computer games, I want tab. So from here, it come here, computer games. The new line, tab, coffee. New line, tab, coffee. New line, tab, aspirin. Okay. So let us look at it in the code. Let's see how it look like. So you can see it from the software. It's basically just formatting. You see? You just follow the instruction. So whatever you want to format, however you want to arrange your output, depend on how you put your code. Okay? Whatever you put in your code, exactly that is going to happen in your output. All right? You make a mistake, compiler will make mistake. You don't make mistake, compiler will not make mistake. Okay? So remember, I told you that whatever you put inside your text is a string. Whatever you put inside your code is a string. Even if it's a long sentence or a number and words or just one character, it is still a string. Every character string is an object defined by the string class. It is still a string. Okay, so you need to know when I say string, you need to know exactly what I mean by string. String is whether a character or a sentence or whatever inside a quote, it is a string. So you see system.out is the object. This is the object. And our default output object is our monitor, right? Our method name, what do I want to do? I want to print. So the information you provide inside the quote or inside the string will be printed, okay? So the behavior or the method, what I want to do for this class or this object is I want to print this string and it will be printed, okay? So I want to teach you about concatenation and calculation. Calculation. Concatenation and calculation. So if I want to do calculation, 1 plus 1 is 2. This is a calculation. Okay, so I use this operator. I use this plus operator to calculate two numbers or two operand, integer operand or number operand. Operand number 1, operand number 2. If these two are numbers or integers or whole numbers, this becomes calculation. The answer will be 4. I will do calculation. But if this is a string, if this operand is a string, and this operand is a string, this becomes concatenation. Okay, the output of this will be hi, hello. Concatenation will combine the two words, the two string into one string, into one word. This is one word, hello, hi, two words. But with this, because this is string and this is string, concatenation will become like this. Now, even though this is a number and this is a number, this is calculation, but if I make it a string by putting these two like this, it will no longer be calculation. The output will be 2, 2, because this is a string. Same thing for, if I want to, okay, use an integer plus, I concatenate it with I. The output will be 2 high. It will combine it. Number plus string become concatenation. Number become calculation. Okay? Do you understand? Do you understand the basic concept between concatenation and calculation? Concatenation means combining two strings. Calculations means doing some calculation on two numbers. Tintong lama? Got it, good. So let us look at more examples. See, peanut butter. See, there's a space here. So if you want space in your string, you put the space by yourself. Plus and jelly. So concatenation will happen here because this is string and this is string. So it becomes one long statement, peanut butter and jelly, one statement. Okay. Let's look at some examples. We present the following facts for your C plus extracurricular edification. So what will happen here? Let me ask you, calculation or concatenation? You can type. What do you think? Is it calculation or concatenation? What will happen here? What will be the output? Is it calculation or concatenation for this two string? What do you think? Just type quickly. I ask you a question. This is what? Calculation or concatenation? Here. Obviously, this is string and this is also string. So it's going to be concatenation, okay? It's going to be concatenation. Now, string, let's look at another example. System.out.println, dialog code, plus 672. So is this concatenation or calculation? Another question for you. Just answer me, give me an answer. What do you think? Obviously, concatenation, right? So it will just write dialing code, and 672. It combined the String, number, concatenation. String, string, concatenation. Number, number, calculation. So long as there's a string, it will always be concatenation. Okay? Year in which Leonardo DiCaprio, Da Vinci. Okay, exercise for you. System.out.print. Hi. Hello. Plus 2 plus 1 plus 5. Okay, guys, can you tell me what this output will be? What is the output? What is the output? Please type. I'm waiting. What is the output for this Java statement? Two, hello, plus 2 plus 1 plus hi. What is the output? Option A. Hello. 21. Hi. Option B. Hello. 3. Hi. Option C. 21. Hello. Hi. Option D. 3. Hello. Hi. So you can choose one answer, A, B, C, or D. What do you think? Maribel says A. Koji says A. 35 says A. Cassia says A. Kevin, Sylvia, A. Oh, okay. Wow. Bam, bam, bam. Okay. Everybody got it correctly. A is the correct answer. Okay. So that is concatenation. Okay. So that means all of you understand it very well. Very good. I'm happy. So we don't need to look at this. So I already explained this. This operator is used for arithmetic addition, which is calculation, okay? The function that it performs depends on the type of information which it operates, which means class will do concatenation or calculation depending on the operand. If the operand is an integer or if the operand is a number, then it does arithmetic addition, that is calculation. If the operand is string and whatever, so what it will do depends on the type of information on which it operates, okay? If both operands are string, or if one is a string and one is a number, It performs string concatenation. I already explained this to you, right? If both operands are numeric, are numbers, it adds them, it calculates them. I already explained this. And then if the operator is this, all this, you already know. Okay, another example for you. Hi. Plus 2 plus 2. System.out.print. I plus 2 plus 2. And then system.out.print I plus 2 plus 2. What is the answer? Give me your answer. There are 2 questions, okay? Bridget, you need to give me 2 answers. This is question 1, this is question 2. Give me 2 answers. I22, I4. Okay, and N, I4. Huh? Please make it different so I can understand. Okay, 35 says I22, I4. Okay, interesting. Number 2, I4. Kevin says I22, I4. Sylvia says I22, I4. Okay, wow, all of you are so genius. Correct, bam, bam, bam. I'm happy. So that is what happens, okay? This is integer, numbers. So it will do, because it is in a bracket, it will do addition for this calculation. Then it will concatenate with this. This is the same example, okay? So you see, this string and this will be concatenated, whereas this will be added. Okay, so this is the difference between concatenation and addition. So now, exercise for you again. What is the answer for this? X, Y, Z. Give me answer. 3 answer, quickly. Let me see who will be the first to get the answer correctly. Three answer, okay? X, Y, Z. Bridget says X25, Y65, and Z 300. X5, okay, 35, got it correct. Maribel says X25, Y65, Z3 0050. Okay, okay, very good. So that means all of you understand the concept, basic concept, okay? So if you put this in your code and show it. If you put it in Java, Java will give you the same thing with all of you, which means you all are as genius as the computer also. See? So that is your answer. X25, Y65, Z350, no space, okay? I can see someone put space there. Who is that? Bridget. Bridget add space between 350 for the Z. Remember, no space, Bridget. So that is for concatenation and calculation, okay? So your answers are all correct. All of you are so amazing. Chumming. Okay. So in the next class, basically, we will learn about variables. I think all of you know strings already, how to edit strings, how to manipulate strings, how to format string, how to concatenate string, or how to, you know. So next we'll be looking at variables. We still have 10 more minutes to the end of the class. So we will just continue. So what is a variable? A variable is the name of a location in a memory that holds a value. A variable is the name of a location that holds a value, okay? Now, a variable declaration specifies the variable name and the type of information it will hold. Variable declaration, okay? So, I want you to understand first, what is a data type? Type of data, data type. A data type, okay, let's just go to the data type slide. Where is the data type? So there are 8 primitive data types, okay? 4 of them represent integers. So when you see integers like numbers, so it can be byte, short, integer, long, okay? It doesn't matter, they are all talking about numbers. The difference is just the size of the number, okay? 2 of them is talking about double numbers, okay? Float and double. For example, when you have 2.001, okay, or 2.1, okay, you cannot use integer because integer is whole number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 100, 200, 1000, single whole number, okay? But if you have numbers with decimal places, you cannot use integer. You can only use double or float, okay? So these are for numbers, okay? These are for numbers, byte, short, integer, long, float, double. They are for numbers, just different types of numbers and different size of numbers. Then we have character and also string. String is also a data type, but let's leave this. Focus on character. Character is similar to string, okay? So you can have A, B, C, D, E, F, X. These are data type char. Boolean means true or false. True or false. Boolean. 1 or 0. Off or on. Okay? Yes or no. So anytime you see decisions that needs to be made, 2 bits, 0 or 1, off or on, true or false, yes or no. This is Boolean data type. (19th to 21st of September is holiday. Wow, okay. Boolean, true or false. So these are data types. So when I talk about data type, your mind should go to these. There are many, many data types, okay? So what is important for you is just to know what it means, okay? Byte is an integer, actually. I told you they are all integers, they're all numbers, but it just means the size, okay? The difference is just the size, okay? So you can see how much memory is used to store a byte, only 1 byte, that is 8 bits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is 8 bits is 1 byte. That is how much memory size is being used to store the value byte. Same with short. Short is a little bit bigger. It uses 2 bytes. That means 100 and negative this to this, okay? Ranging values. Integer, okay? You don't need to worry so much about this. You just need to know what it means. Memory that is being used for integer is 4 bytes, okay? For long, is 8 bytes. For float, is 4 bytes. For double, similar to integer or float, is 8 bytes, okay? Usually, this is what people use in programming, okay? Double float. This is not so famous, but also usually people use integer, double, and okay, char also, Boolean. But this is the most famous, these two. So you want to use number. Most people will not go for short or byte or long or what. They just use integer. It's usually most common. So you want to use decimal point, you use double for decimal point. You want to use characters or text, you use string, right? Or Boolean or char, all right? So these are all that. So let's go back to the variable. Remember, reserved words, okay? All those words that you see, they are reserved words. You see our double is there. Our long is there, our short, float. These are all reserved words. You can use them to declare stuff, okay? And then when you declare the data type, you also need to declare the variable name. So variable declaration, okay, is to define the data type and the variable name, okay? So I want to declare a variable X. What type of value will be in this X? Okay, I want to put the value numbers. I want X to carry numbers. I have declared X. So I can use X inside my programming. Okay, let me declare another value. Integer Y. See, I've also declared another integer, another variable. So now we have 2 variables inside our memory. So this is variable declaration. The next one I want to teach you is variable assignment. Variable assignment means to assign a value or to give a value to a variable. Now, X is equal to 2. Now I have assigned a value. So value, I have declared X here, but X have no value. Here I have assign a value to X. Okay, variable declaration or variable assignment. So sometimes I can do both at the same time. Int X is equal to 2. This is also allowed in Java. So I have declared the variable and I have also assigned a value to the variable. Okay, so this is what we will be looking at in the next class, using variables, declaring variables, and more. Okay, this is just introduction because of extra time. So, but we will end the class here. From next week, make sure you have installed your software. Okay, Apache NetBeans 12.4. I prefer you come to lab with your own computer. Okay, I prefer you come to the lab with your own computer and install the software by yourself in your own computer. If not, you can use the computer in the lab. It's okay. All right. So I'll see you all next week. Okay. Shesheni. Sai Jane.